going on, everybody? It's Nidge here, Drunk FX. We're going to check out USA versus China and what the world thinks about it. Normally, I don't get into much political shit, a little bit, obviously with the Hillary Trump thing. Very, very mild, though this channel isn't about that. But I do want to chime in and kind of see, like what's going on, because sometimes if we have our blinders on too much, we forget what's going on with the world. You've been warned, though. I do talk a lot and do commentary, which I will be. I might even pause this one and kind of give my thoughts as I'm going through it. The original channel is the Daily Conversation. Their information will be in the description below. But you've been warned. Watch it without my commentary if you want. If we're here, we're doing this. 3, 2, 1.
The United States and the People's Republic of China will likely be the two most influential countries for the rest of the 21st century.
Don't forget India, though.
Is how people in 40
India's
countries around the world
coming on up,
view
man.
the two nations across
We don't
a variety
realize
of
that,
global
but...
issues, according to a study by the Pew Research Center. Broadly, the U.S. is seen more positively in Europe, Latin America, Africa, and Asia, while China is viewed significantly more favorably in the Middle East. The United States' pivot to Asia is welcomed by most of the countries in the region, although the Malaysians and Pakistanis think it's a bad thing because it could lead to conflict with China. 54% of Chinese think the U.S. is trying to prevent it from becoming as powerful. Here are the favorability ratings for America among the other countries in the study.
All right, most favorable ratings in for the U.S. Let's see who hates us here. Oh, Russia hates us. Turkey, Jordan, damn. Pakistan, China. Okay.
You can see the U.S. is most popular in the Philippines, Ghana, its close allies South Korea and Israel.
We
Kenya,
like our
and the rest of
P-pop,
Africa,
all right?
along with Italy. The Europeans are strongly supportive, but not overwhelmingly so, while Russia has a very negative view of the United States, fueled by the non-stop anti-U.S. propaganda.
I love Russia, man. I hope we never fight,
you see that the Russians turned sharply against America around the time Putin faced strong opposition at home, which is when he began building up America as an external threat. Globally, it's fascinating how much more positively younger generations view the U.S. now that they're all on the internet, a communication medium which has so far been dominated by the West.
They can see
this
that.
Could be behind the strong confidence most in the world have in the decision-making capabilities of one of the most internet-savvy leaders in history, U.S. President Barack Obama.
I don't know about that. No. I love Obama. I voted for him twice. But what I'm going to say right now is it wasn't Obama. It's the internet. It's YouTube. It's so much of we, the people, actually can communicate with each other and actually, for instance, a lot of people are like, and I got comments, I could show them if I have to, provide proof to throw it down that they're like, wow, you're not like what the media portrays us. That's what a Korean lady said to me. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that I was portrayed some way. Basically, we're assholes. We have no this and that. New Zealand said the same thing. There's so many people that say that. And I just think the internet, period, has destroyed this negative stereotypical wall, because before the internet it was all whatever you see on TV is fed to you. North Korea is a good example. They don't have internet, so they believe whatever Kim Jong-il says to them.
The Pakistanis may be China's closest ally, sharing not only a productive relationship but also a common cross-border rival in India. Africans are also overwhelmingly supportive, thanks to the money and migrant workers the Chinese are pouring into the continent as its largest trading partner. The Russians love China, partially because they too share a common rival, America, the current global superpower.
America.
The West's views are fairly consistent in their skeptical feelings toward the Chinese.
We're just fat people that watch YouTube.
The UK have a more favorable view. Favorability views of China have changed in the past year, thanks to actions like Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to India. Economically, the world increasingly thinks the US is still the leader, and this data was gathered before China's economic troubles this summer.
I would say,
but the world is also convinced that China has or is on its way
I think China is pretty much the superpower.
Of
to
the
be
40
honest.
nations in this survey, only Brazil, Uganda, close U.S. allies the Philippines and Japan, Vietnam, and the U.S. itself think China will never replace the US,
Nah, they will.
although it's remarkable how pessimistic even the
China.
Americans are.
Generally,
China
I
is
love
viewed
China.
very
It's like one of
negatively
my
on its respect for the personal
favorite
freedoms of its people,
countries, but
although
yeah,
countries that also don't have the
they
greatest
can be
human rights records
they can
have
be
a more
kind of mean
favorable view
though.
of China on this
And that's so
issue
sad.
because they
I just
don't
want
really
everyone to get
understand what it's
along. You know
like
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
truly free of government oppression either,
Yeah.
like the Russians, Africans, Middle Easterners, and Venezuelans in this survey. China's global rating on this issue has actually taken a hit over the past year as pro-democracy protests that erupted in Hong Kong were forcefully put down. The Communist Party also doubled down on its Orwellian internet censorship campaign, which we detailed in a previous video you
They
can
lock
watch
them
here
down.
and through the link below.
Man, you know, it's like I met a Chinese girl a while ago. You know, I tried to hook up with her, and basically her parents wouldn't allow it because I wasn't Chinese. It was that type of because her parents are straight up from China, and she was American Chinese, but she still had the accent. You know, obviously she grew up with her family and stuff like that. And by the way, I didn't look this ugly and fat before. All right, I was good. I was in shape. You know, I just got out of the army and everything. So, but I digress.
Partnership, the largest trade deal in world history that's currently being spearheaded by the United States, is strongly supported by citizens in all countries involved. Obama's main objective here is to strengthen America's economic ties with China's neighbors as a countermeasure to the power of the Chinese economy. This chart shows how young people are more likely to embrace globalization, especially Americans and Mexicans. Youth support for the TPP may also be a reflection of Obama's popularity with millennials. Most countries would rather have stronger economic ties with the United States
We'll
than
give it to
with
Obama
China,
on that.
although it's interesting to see that staunch American
I don't
allies
think
South
it
Korea
was
and
him. I
Australia
think we're just
actually
smarter.
think it's more important to
We're
trade
younger.
with China.
Like, that's just it.
Regionally, most countries
We have the
welcome
internet.
increased US
My
military
mom don't even
presence
go on
that
the
came with
internet, so
Obama's
she
pivot,
believes what she sees
although
on
the
TV.
Pakistanis don't, and the South Koreans are naturally wary, given that Korea was the site of an extremely bloody war between the Americans and Chinese less than 65 years ago. More data reveals that the Malaysians would much rather give in to China's territorial bullying in the South China Sea than stand up to them. The most defiant country is Vietnam, who staunchly favors being tough on China. Partially, this defiance is bolstered by America's Asian allies' belief that the US would come to their defense if a serious military conflict broke out. That belief is bolstered by significant public opinion in the US in favor of defending America's
We don't
allies
fuck
in
around
Asia
if we have
using
to,
military force against
I
China.
don't want that though. I'm anti-war for the
As
record.
helpful as all this data is in allowing conclusions to be drawn about the American and Chinese standing in the world, it raises just as many questions.
Yes,
What piece of data was most significant to you, and what burning question are you left with after watching this video? Make sure to hit that like button to help spread this information if you found it insightful. Join the daily conversation by subscribing
hit the
to
like button
as
yet. Far as
and as usual, thanks for watching.
What burned really to me, this seems kind of some stuff I actually already knew. Even though I mentioned the blinder kind of comment before I started watching it, I'm not being cocky. It's just I already know that Russia and US have bad, dirty stuff back and forth, but I know that by Trump winning the election, Putin and Trump they get along better than Hillary and Putin. And I don't support any of this. What I'm saying is this is like how it's viewed. And the only threat I could see really right now at this time that's pushing buttons is North Korea. This dude he's pulling off a freaking what's the guy in Iraq? He got his ass hung because he fucked with everybody. Saddam Hussein. He was popping off the mouth, just acting like, oh, I could do whatever I want. And then he just got laid out. Like, that's what happened. Now, of course, remember, that could be the information we're being told. Maybe he really was a good guy, but based on what their people said, and they basically were treated like dog shit from what I've seen. And I didn't go to Iraq for the record, okay? Just so you guys know. So, but I just want to put it out there though that you know there's so much going on, and you have to try your best to research and come up with the information on your own to know truly what's going on. And don't feed into the negative shit that you always hear right away. Don't jump on that bandwagon. Even if you have to stand alone and your friends don't like you, be that person. That's who I am. I might not have as many friends as I used to, but what I do have is I have honor, integrity, and that to me is worth way more than those friends that don't no longer consider me friends because I disagreed and proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that the facts were there. to back up things. If I'm your cup of tea, go ahead and subscribe here, Drunk FX. Always keep it real. Do tons of reactions, tons of live stream gameplay. If I'm on your cup of tea, go find it. It's out there. All right? Believe it. This is Nidge from Drunk FX, and I'm out.